Because the Ziggs ban tells me they either want an immobile AD. They could go for like Jinx or Caitlyn. I think Jinx is a big takeaway from Hope, by the way, in Game 5. Yeah. Or they're saying it might be a Azir. I think you got to ban Azir out here, though.
No Yone for Shanks either. There's the Azir ban. Aurora also taken away. Where do Weibo want to go?
Where's Nautilus? Where's Maokai? Vi's up. That's a good shout. Ambessa. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Game 5. That's a big first pick. I mean, a lot of her answers are out. That does mean that Tarzan likely to get answer to, or get access to Vi. And then that Lucian being insta-lock. That means that you can easily find a Nami here on 3 or a Braum. Can really dictate your comp. I think Weibo has to snag a Nautilus here. I think it's kind of forced. I think they just have to put Crisp in that champ and go from there.
What do you want to get Light here as well? I do want to say, I do think of Light as one of our better Jhin players. Yeah, you can groan about seeing a Jhin in Game 5, but if you're going to pick a carry top laner, I don't hate bringing some more facilitation towards that bot side.
Not Jhin Braum, though.
Both Jhin Braum, yeah, Jhin Braum's not a reality, so that already goes out the window. Ezreal, Jinx, if you want to play for that reset scale comp.
I think if you go Braum, you have to go Ezreal. You're just signing up to be weak-sided, which, I mean, you can play in a breathe a little bit. Ezreal gets the CS, and you do at least deny Lucian Braum. It does mean that you're going to get Milioed or Nami here. Nami does provide a little bit more team fight power, at least with the tidal wave and the engage value. So Kael going to snag that. And a lot of early to mid games showing here already for AL. So we have a top laner locked in, the jungler locked in. Going to expect to see some bans maybe targeted to protect Breathe and that top side, as they have already removed the Yorick. I will say the only other champions that Flandre has played in this split that are on the table, he's got Sejuani, Gnar, and Cho'Gath.
Oh, Cho'Gath.
Everything else that he has played this split is Smolder. Those 4. Everything else is off the board. Probably not playing Smolder into an Ambessa, though. I'm pretty confident I can write that one off.
That's a pretty hellish lane. I'm looking to see... We need to get a good vibe pairing here with Shanks. And the options are really slim, Cubby. How do you want to link this Vi up with the rest of AL's comp, knowing Shanks is champion pool after you just talked about Flandre?
Let's ban Maokai and go from there real quick. I know Tian's not a Maokai player, but I think Maokai is a great champ. Still showing. Braum would love main engage on his team. Maokai brings a lot of that. I think it's a Kali, which isn't great right now. You could go Silas, which also isn't great right now, but I think you just respond the top, and you only pick Silas if you're really scared of giving away a Silas.
Ari's the ban. Okay, yeah. I think Ari was the one I was thinking of, right?
Okay, Ari would have been a good pick there. Yeah, has been played by Xiaohu. All split Kled. Do it. Oh, if they played Kled, I'd get pretty excited, actually.
I think it's, I was going to say, I think it's going to be the Flandre Cho'Gath or the Shen.
I think Shen.
Ooh, delivering the Shen with the Vi. That's a sneaky combo that we don't talk about a lot with that Stand United. Oh, the Rek'Sai top. Wow, we're going back in the past. Oh! Flandre Rek'Sai. What is the LPL becoming?
We've seen some Rek'Sai top over in EU. Broken Blade's been playing it. It isn't what it was at this time last year, where it was disgusting in the top lane, but it's still playable. Flandre is going to bust it out in Game 5, use that to try and remain strong on the map. They have a counter pick that can use mid for Shanks, but Xiaohu, we've seen Twisted Fate. We've seen it miss a lot, but we can see if Xiaohu could make sure it hits on a legacy champ for him. And now Shanks gets his chance to answer. I don't think it's a great Silas game. We do see Silas in the TF quite a bit. If Shanks wants to go for that. Other champs, I mean, everything else that he's played this split is off the board. It's going to be a unique champ for Shanks, played mid lane. It's a specialty pick for him if it is the Blanc. Oh. Not a lot can stop at this game outside of a gold card. Oh, and that's going to be locked in for Shanks. Oh, boy.
What a lane that is for Shanks. Completely gapped Xiaohu in Game 1. It's hard to remember that far back. This is what Fearless breathes into the game of League of Legends. What a fun draft. Tian gets on the Lee Sin. LeBlanc mid lane. The Rek'Sai top. It's so fun when we get here, Cubby, because there's such little statistical value to try and set us up for this matchup.
Well, TF's been bad. I mean, we've got to rely on
for a while.
Yeah, the TF has really been struggling.
But it plays into what Xiaohu wants to do, right? We keep saying facilitator, facilitator, facilitator. It may be slim pickings, but TF does fit that bill.
We have not seen a lot of success with TF, but we'll see if he can have it this game. I think the one determining factor for this, AL picked a lot of early game in this draft, and we have seen 4 one-sided games in this series. I mean, that really has been the trend, right? So we'll see if from the red side, AL can find their own red side win and win the series here going up against Weibo. If they want to win this game, they're gonna have to do it through the early game, because if things go late, the control that TF can bring with the gold cards, the stability that Ezreal brings, the damage that Ambessa can do later on. Rek'Sai falls off. Vine, Nami, that's going to fall off too. So we'll see if Shanks, AL, didn't get things going here early on.
Here we go. Let's hear it. The energy live one more time for our LPL faithful. I hope you're doing it all at home. On to the Rift for a final time. Bring me some Game 5, Jaios.
Well,
that's what
our fans are
that's
excited.
What it's all about.
We're excited. And AL has a lot of info to start, which will be spotted by Crisp, who still face checks the brush anyway because he is Santa Brom. And I guess it's just Game 5, and he can do that. So this could be a word picked up. But Tian, I did highlight, I mean, his hands earlier on in this series did find a big win on the Kiana Slayer. Lee Sin has always been a legacy champion for Tian, always one that he's played at a high level. And we'll see if he can go back to the well and find the win on the Lee Sin TF duo. Playing into a LeBlanc for this one.
Tian's already got 2 MVPs in this series on those carry junglers. Like you pointed out, Lee Sin could snowball and warp a game all on his own.
Ignore that graph. That graph is lying.
Okay, all right. I don't even know what graph you're talking about.
Yeah, don't worry about it. If it goes late, I favor Weibo. It would have to be Shanks, like, finding picks in one-shots to really change things late, but... See if Shanks can do it. Again, Shanks is the Blanc. This is a legacy pick for Shanks. He has always been a very, very, very good LeBlanc player. LeBlanc has just kind of fallen out of meta overall, right? But in his career, he's got 23 plays of LeBlanc, a 56.5% win rate as Crisp goes sideways with Q Flash.
You know, at least, you know, we're getting Hope's Flash
positive trade. It's a positive trade.
AD Flash, always a win. And he does that mostly at level 2 control, so... Light and Crisp going to have Prio on that wave, and Light really starting to dish out his level 2 prowess. It would help if some of these Winter's bites landed from Crisp, but nonetheless, priority is priority, and you can see Flandre garnering that in the top side. Whew, it has been, it was a very different time the last time we got to see a top lane Rek'Sai in the LPL.
This thing was an absolute problem in the top lane, as I believe the change now, I just think the passive gives you less health back, because we did see Rek'Sai top was a big thing during playoffs where the passive just gave you a lot of HP, and you could pretty much just play the lane where you could fight to the death in the wave, and then you would get all your health back and your opponent win it, and then you just win. And that was what happened in the last summer playoffs for LPL, where we didn't have Fearless Draft. We saw Rek'Sai being played like every game. So, a little bit different this time around, but Flandre, of course, trying to use this in Game 5. Definitely a real pick. Props to G2, Broken Blade. He's been the player using it the most from what I've seen.
Another champion that past times, Flandre has understood this matchup. You talked about the Jace that he was able to pull out in Game 4 to get that win. And now he's leading on the old roots of the meta, like you talked about with this Rek'Sai. It's fun when you can see just zeros on the champion win and loss rate. Tian breaking out that Lee Sin. Xiaohu on that TF. With the spellbook and the TP, wants to get level 6 as early and often as possible, but he wants to facilitate some of these plays. Flash and dash having to be used there as Shanks creates as much distance as possible away from the Tian gank.
Really respecting the power of the gold card early on, as Shanks will lose his flash for it, but you can see 3 more unique champs being played and not a single win on the board for any of the champs in this Game 5 for AL. That is... Man, we're going to have to see if Coach Tabe cooked up the right strat for these guys, because if I'm in Game 5 and I'm playing a champ where we haven't won a single stage game between all 5 champs, that's It's not a game 5 I exactly want to be in as a coach. Especially coming from a region like NA where results-based analysis kind of dictates everything, you know?
It's such a weird spot to be in because I want to herald back to game 1. It's where the early game was fantastic from AL, and it's
just the whole series, like with how important early game has been for the entire series, by the way.
And it's what we thought AL would dominate in the series to win it convincingly. And it was present in game 1, but it's been rough seas to deal with ever since. And
Breathe.
part of that is been because guys like Breathe, he's been consistently able to either neutralize or take a lead on that topside matchup. And Tian finds all these unique angles on these carry junglers as once again, he's able to claim a flash now off of Kael, off of a classic lane gank before he takes his reset.
I was very surprised that Breathe did not burn flash there. That was very well played by him on the top side. He is going to get the early executioners to fight this Rek'Sai. As, yeah, Flandre has a lot of ability to stick around in that lane. But hey, early on, it is Tian that has found the 2 soul wins for Weibo. And it's just going to be soft power. Its flashes taken away. But definitely flashes that can be punished, especially by the likes of not just Tian, but also Xiaohu, who does have access to 6 and is surviving the all-in, hopefully from Shanks.
Oh, good distort back for Shanks. Yeah, Xiaohu doesn't have any mana. He's not able to find this trade. So Shanks is starting to really settle into what I really felt like was the most lopsided lane assignment of this entire game. Xiaohu, though, does have the Destiny up. He's going to have to use that likely to just come right back to lane. So to get that off the board and take away some of the side lane threat of this TF early,
he's going to walk bot.
Actually, he's just going to walk bot. All right,
yeah,
so we're holding on to that heal.
That's a good team rotation, though, that you're kind of pointing out here, Slayer, because if you did have to pork back mid to contest this dragon, would have been a big cooldown down, because that's over a 2-minute cooldown, the first cast that you use of the port. So going to be able to save that one, picks up the bot wave, and of course that dragon that was being played around with by AL, not going to be a real look.
All right. No, I don't want to see any ganks out of Tarzan until we get that ultimate around. Grub priority, feel like, is pretty huge for both of these top laners, especially in this game. Seeing all across split 3, the slow progression of playing for these dragons. We saw maybe game 4, the early Drake take, or game 3, an early Drake take coming across. And as I say that with the kind of wacky lane assignments, it does look like both Shanks and Tarzan are going to shift down towards this side. And Xiaohu does not have flash. He's going to get caught by a chain. Gold card out, but there's Shanks dropping his ultimate so you can once again lock down Xiaohu. And the Spring Tiger has been declawed. First blood on a silver platter to anyone's legend.
His jungler has taken enemy red buff. I just don't think that you can afford to get stuck in the river there. Didn't exactly see how that play evolved, but Xiaohu, what we do know at the end is that he was out of position and he was taken off the board. So AL removed the mid laner, the captain of Weibo. With Xiaohu down, means that the dragon will fall in favor of AL. So they'd remove the tiger, get a dragon, and now they're going to have to look at the grubs spawning in 15 seconds. We'll see if we have Xiaohu cast that ultimate to join any sort of fight up towards the top side.
Good to get that Vi rolling already. Tarzan, we talk about all the time how he is the spirit of this team, described by his own coaching staff. And to get the ball rolling for him, inspire that confidence again that has been hit or miss, at least in this series. And, you know, at points of split 3, he is just one of those very few players in the world that can warp games all on his own. And in Game 5, that's who you need to lean on, those leaders, those superstar players. And Xiaohu already making some miscues, and in a final match like this, every single misstep feels 10 times as painful as right there. Breathe caught. True Shot Barrage actually steals one of the grubs, though, for Light.
That's 2.
No, they're going to get 3.
The first. Yeah, that's all 3. That's really big. Again, AL, I think a team that really has to hit their early to mid-game spikes hard. They have to use the Lucian Nami. The power they're going to have, they have to use the early power of the Rek'Sai. That's 3 grubs that are now down to a comp where with TF especially, you can really stretch this map. I think that's a great pickup for Weibo, a big one that they should be able to use and cash in this game. Because now, any side lane push, any side lane shove that they can do, they can create, they're going to be ahead of the play. And that really is, you know, the Xiaohu specialty. Like what he brings to this team, that side lane play and prowess. Grubs are going to help with that.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how the lane assignments go, right? Trying to match into this Rek'Sai. So who's going to be the one to do it first here? Flandre, though, building a lot more of that tanky Rek'Sai. So, you know, Cubby, for people who aren't accustomed to Broken Blade, Rek'Sai, and as we talked about, haven't seen this a while since it used to dominate the meta.
It's this. You
tank?
build tank.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. You build tank. You might fit a Stride Breaker in there if you want, or a Titanic Hydra, or an Overlord's Bloodmail. You know, that item's not even that good because Rek'Sai, you know, your passive tops you off, doesn't keep you low. Yeah, you might fit in one damage item, but no, you're trying to get as tanky as possible. You trade in the wave, then you heal it back up, then you do it again. Welcome to Rek'Sai. At least Rek'Sai top. Rek'Sai jungle, you just are poor and die because you're weak and you get stuck.
So it's all about survive and thrive for this one for Flandre. And also, as we see Tarzan stealing away this red buff, I think he's going to be spotted, though. There's a lot of good deep wards. Oh, yeah, Destiny's pop. They saw him trying to go for this red buff. Here's the collapse power of this TF. Xiaohu does not have yellow card. All right, now he's going to throw down the stun.
We got the cancel, though.
Mid, Vault Breaker dash. Tarzan does have to flash instead. Tidal Wave also coming out. On top of that, Breathe has now gone behind Flandre, who's not tanky enough to really survive a full Mbessa combo, but Mbessa doesn't have that damage yet either.
That's
good
fine,
punish, though.
If Breathe is keeping things close, I mean, he outscales, right? And Mbessa, that public execution will be big. So, kind of a little funky there. I mean, I think if Crisp actually connected with his Winter's Bite, maybe it was something. Maybe they get Summoner spells off, but Crisp kind of whiffed his stuff too, which was not great. So, that look from Weibo comes up empty and just back on the map as it is. Weibo up a wee bit of gold and AL up a Drake.
Already seeing Weibo showing the power they have to kind of answer this side lane threat or just the kind of overall dive threat that a Rek'Sai, LeBlanc, and Vicomp bring. I want to see them look to use that TF ultimate constantly. Oh my god, Breathe, he tanks up turret. That was nearly disastrous. But
almost took two, yeah.
That's how I think Weibo can slow down AL, right? Is whenever they look for these Vi combos, whenever they look to try and pick off the Mbessa or Xiaohu on a side lane, they look to try and collapse. And, well, that's why Xiaohu has to be particularly most careful because he's the one that can kind of allow to even up the numbers on any of these plays that come across from Tarzan or the Rek'Sai out of Flandre.
100%. And you can see the AL, I mean, with Lucian Nami right now, they will get mid-prio. Ezreal can do his best to kind of chip away at the wave, but it will be Lucian that's still leading these waves first. I do like what Weibo's doing right now. They're trying to play all three lanes. You're just hovering the TF lane because you can set up with Lee. Yeah, and also can use some of the grubs here. So it's just going to be 2 plates instantly melting over to the TF, and he might even get more.
Weibo trying to set up around him. Good vision from Chris. But yeah, the Tarzan and Flandre are looming. So it's a sizable amount of gold into Xiaohu's pocket. He is already stacking up onto the Roa. Twisted Fate, another champion where you can open up a lot of interesting build paths. I do want to point out as well with the Ezreal for Light. We've seen recently, and I believe it was in the LTA it came across. We've seen some new adaptations to Ezreal build paths. You always obviously go the Trinity Force and the More Mana, but keep an eye out to see if the Voltanic comes across, as some Ezreal players have tried to lean back into the old Duskblade legendary items of paths they used to bring towards this Ezreal.
No, definitely a decent shout. Do have to focus on this dragon, though. Weibo going to try and get in here.
Shanks zoning well. There's Destiny. Spot all 5 members. Xiaohu's going to force Tarzan out once again. Weibo have control of the pit now and will turn their attention back towards the dragon. Crisp, it's about 40% HP. Flandre going to try to use that passive to walk their way in, but there's the dragon already secured by Tian. AL, there's nothing really left to fight over, and Flandre's going to have to burn his flash forward gold card. They're going to try and chain link the stuns with the Braum passive. The autos are going to try and come down. No Void Rush, but the Tidal Wave hits on multiple members. There's the snap re-engage from Tarzan. Cease and desist down. Tian's trying to fly into the back line as well, but doesn't have enough damage to find any of these kills, and Light can't get in position. There's no damage dealers left to capitalize on multiple blinking health bars. AL get away with robbery there to the tune of 4 kills.
Every tool that was used by Weibo was used onto the tank Rek'Sai. They don't take down Flandre, they take down no one else, and they get wiped on the map as an overextension unwarranted by Weibo. In the back half of this, you have the objective, you can drop a mid-wave, it's okay, just go play your lanes, they're all even. But they overextend reach so far, and the Flandre opens up for a great culling, and this tidal wave by Kael waited for the shield of the Braum to dissipate. That means that the tidal wave hit in full. Light was pumping in the back half of that. Wasn't even close to mattering as AL wiped the fight. All the tools burned into the tank early on. Unwarranted by Weibo. Big mistake from them.
These small mistakes. Well, not even small mistakes. This one big mistake against AL and into Game 5. I mean, it can mean everything. No matter how murky this series has looked for anyone's Legends, they are a team that can take a lead early and never look back. Grub power, though, still here for Weibo as they're trying to knock down this first brick and even up the feats of strength conversations. No collapse really in a minute. That's another tidal wave, though, out of Kael. Trying to set up the bubble, doesn't land. They're just trying to protect the turret right now, make sure it can't fall in. With Tarzan here, they should be able to. Tarzan, though, bit of an awkward vault breaker. He's going to eat the Glacial Fissure now, and he has to flash again as the vault breaker cancel comes across.
Another chain
Shanks
comes in. Shanks has been on point so far with the tethers. As a heal popped, Weibo get out. They don't get the turret. As the race for first brick is a wee bit on. The 3 grubs really going to help Weibo here. As they're really trying to ensure they're a tower away and an objective secure away from making sure that feats do go their way.
Yeah, the first brick is, it's again, the playing the map is what Weibo's game needs to be in this game. And unlocking turrets just fits more into that sort of set the more and more this game goes on. Rift Herald is up, though. Yeah, it looks like with Xiaohu's TP, he maybe wants to try and either force somebody down bot side for the Herald. Tarzan's actually going to hop over the wall now. He's going to start it up here. Shanks is taking a reset. He should be able to cover this bot tier 1 turret if he wants to. But Tarzan isn't comfortable enough just playing for the Herald alone.
So he's done this a lot in this series. It's what players refer to as,
right?
It's just tickling the objective. It's like they're pulling it so that they don't give the opponents a good start in that window. So it's a window where like the waves are about to crash, the opponent hits it, and then your opponent has like winning lanes where it's mid and top there. They can do the Rift Herald in that timer. Him tickling it and trying to remove the objective from the pit actually takes away that timer. He's done it a few times with Dragon too. It's a good play by Tarzan. It looks goofy, but it's the right play. A lot of players talk through it, so. He tickles it for that wave. Unfortunately for AL, the next wave, Weibo had things put together. Tian gets here in time, and they take it down.
Xiaohu smartly recognizing he's the only play left, backs completely off that bot tier 1 turret. That will secure feats of monster slaying for Weibo.
And he has opted, he's showing the Witchbane second early on, because he did say TF, a couple different build paths. You know, you got the Sanyas. Yeah. Oh, wait, alt cast.
Destiny. All right, just to try and cover this turret, but
first brick
this thing is gone. First brick nonetheless.
Yeah.
All right, another small edge to anyone's Legends.
All right, well played by AL. As they drop the Rift Herald, but do secure the first brick and the feats. I do think that's worth it for AL. Again, they are the stronger comp at the moment. I think that if they throw, you know, Vi, Lucian, Nami ults at someone, you have Shanks behind that too, that person's going to end up dead at this point of the game. The concern is that they aren't far ahead enough. That could help, though. Tian
Tarzan,
he's dead.
Let's just drop the hammer on Tian.
Beautiful.
Too easy.
The straight out for a turret, but that was very, very well done as the cease and assist. Another play where Tarzan and Kael both very much on the same page here, Slayer. That was the greatest strength of AL in Split 2. And we have for sure seen that as AL have been backs up against the wall in Game 4 and again in Game 5.
Gold lead, minuscule. Mere hundreds of shillings between these two teams. But that one pick, magnitude shockwave across the game state because this Dragon now gets to go over to AL. Weibo really have no business contesting this, you would think. But that is Breathe TPing in. They're not playing for the Dragon.
They gotta give.
They're looking like they're going to try and play for the fight after. I guess they're just looking to trade TPs as Flandre sends himself into the fray. Just a bit of a game of, just this classic game of chicken around this fight.
It's okay, though, from Weibo. Like, if they keep on pushing them down, they're going to play with their tempo. So they could, you know, force him back and maybe delay those bases and then take something off the back of it as they're really looking for that bot outer. I will say, like, big picture game theory, I think Ocean Soul is a decent role, in particular for AL. Because,
yes.
like, with the Rek'Sai and the LeBlanc, you can easily get out of the fight, reset your health bars, and there isn't like a ton of burst damage on Weibo. So I think it can actually kind of help AL. I know they already have Nami, but, you know, hopefully deal with a little bit of Ezreal poke, or you're going to be eating some TF gold cards. We're going to take a second look at what was a very straightforward play. 2 ults in a bubble, 3 ults in a bubble connect, and Tian just gets deleted.
So beautiful. It's the calling card of anyone's legend. Kael and Tarzan finding plays. In this game, it's single target oriented, right? With a Nami and mostly the Vi coming across here. Do want to start talking a bit about items, Cubby, because between our two teams, you can see how much stronger AL are despite how close the gold is right now. Luden's that Horizon focus on this LeBlanc for Shanks versus that Lichbane and Roa. That's so much more damage for Shanks than the single target blow up.
With Tarzan's
Rapid Fire Cannon, Essence Reaver, a bit stronger right now than Light is at. So the damage dealers for AL in much better spot than the gold really tells.
You can see Breathe. He doesn't have a turret. He's really respecting the angle that Vi LeBlanc could form on him. Shanks took a pretty big chunk, though. Light still has his ult available. He needs to get topped off. It has been started. Destiny popped.
He's going to Destiny right next to Tian, so they're looking to try and collapse on AL as the Otacon doing so much value, getting rid of those resistance. If Flandre goes forward, but they're going to snap engage onto Xiaohu. Good flash to get away from Shanks, though. Can he find the burst angle? He's going to distort back out as we watch the Otacon reset. Redemption comes down. Weibo like their health bars a bit more here, and they have control of the brush that AL can't step towards. Shanks can try and scout out with a nice little distort. Sees that Weibo aren't going for the Otacon just yet. Neither team wants to start that dance again.
Xiaohu can port back. I really like Crisp. He threw himself in there to stop the tidal wave. He got the shield off to block the tidal wave. Look out for that interaction throughout the game, because that's the highest value spell that Chris can block.
It's so hard for AL to approach this fight now. They don't have that same sort of fire starter. There's no cease and desist. There's no tidal wave. There's no culling. They're trying to fight this out without key ultimate, so they're just going to jump on top of Crisp and get a ton of damage down. Breathe is holding on to that public execution. They're going to TP Xiaohu in. Still far enough away from Tarzan to find that snap engage, but Weibo not able to punish AL, going so brashly for that pick play without ultimates.
All they have to do is stall until they get their ults back up, and AL's at the point where they might be able to play some more waves. Now, they did drop a lot in the top side as Xiaohu got a wave in, and that wave's been slowly building back into the TF, but... Yeah, I mean, Chris did burn both the sums to get Xiaohu out of the initial play in the Dragon Pit. Too bad for Weibo's hopes. He didn't get Glacial Fissure off before he fell, because maybe that could have created something, but... Still, I think we're just going to return to the scene of the crime here, as Otacon was not taken, and both teams kind of opting to go clean up the waves, and I would not be surprised to just get back here again.
Did anyone get a big item through here before that happens? I saw a reset from Flandre. No. Still just going to get components. Get back out on the map. BF Sword is pretty big for Hope to grab. More mana is done for Light, so this Ezreal is going to start really hitting like a truck. But yeah, like we talked about, we're just waiting for ultimates.
Stacking. Yeah, Weibo's going to stack Cleavers in their top side. I do think that Breathe needs one regardless for the lane, but a little bit inefficient there on the top side. Like maybe an opportunity for Tian to go to Eclipse under its guy instead of a Cleaver, as Cleaver stacks just a wee bit inefficient, but still going to get value out of it with the Ezreal. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're left talking about here, Slayer, because finally, after 4 very one-sided occasions, we have ourselves a close game. It's 23 minutes in. It's Game 5. Everything on the line. It's even gold as we look at not just the Otacon being up on the Rift, but the Dragon spawning as well. Soul Point coming up on the map here for AL.
All the goodies towards the spot side, but can't forget about the mid lane priority that Weibo has control of. They're trying to set up a line across this brush.
Flandre is getting a lot of info here. They should see all 5 circles, and Crisp is going to spot the Rek'Sai Breathe.
Exactly what you want to do. You want to let Shanks weave in and out, dipping, dodging around these combos to get poked down. Yeah, Breathe has the TP back here. We'll see if they end up giving it, but the stab engage from Tarzan comes across onto Xiaohu again. Public execution missed there for Breathe, so he can't get into this fight. Crisp is going to go down first, and there's the Void Rush out of Flandre. Tarzan the next to fall. Flandre's trying to do late time, but there's just not enough there. AL are kicked out of the fight, and there's the big time kick coming across from Tian, but he drops to Shanks. Kael sectioned off by Weibo. They're going to look to knock down the Nami. Trade 2 apiece. No, 3-2 for Weibo. They somehow find a way to make that fight work.
That numbers advantage is going to be enough for them to at least look at the Dragon. Shanks is here. He might be able to take one down with him.
No,
Oh, he spotted.
First to Stork, get some info. But now they know that he's waiting over that wall and is not going to risk it. We are dead even on Drakes, but I don't think Weibo can look for this Otacon.
They have to reset.
Yep.
That's still a nice pickup, though. They prevent the soul point. Don't think you want to give away Ocean Soul. I mean, it's not always the highest value soul, but I think giving AL always good conditions is definitely something that can be tough against the LeBlanc. Then Shanks can just permanently stay on the map, use Fog, and threaten to one-shot just as he's doing now, because after that Dragon, Weibo for sure had to reset. That's a big chunk on the Shanks. Well played by Light to connect there through the W. As he blinked back, and Weibo's going to get back on even keel terms.
And we do it all again. Everybody heralding around this Otacon.
I mean, Shanks is kind of low.
The big golden ticket.
He's going to TP back. This isn't for an item, though. It's just for conditions. So this is a good takeaway here from Weibo if they can get Shanks to burn the TP, which he does burn mid. Oh, we got Magi's. Okay. That's a big one.
That's a big call. He's got his fully stacked Dark Seal. Maybe looks to try and take this tier 1 turret. Yeah, he's going to double back here. I think he's safe enough that he can. That last auto should do it. All right, mid-tier 1 knockdown. Good little edge to AL. They can get back to neutral wave states in this mid lane.
Okay, gonna take a second look here. As I mean, it's a really big chunk to start on to breathe. I just think that Flandre, or like when they make the play, so Crisp actually, he catches everything. He's got to step up a little bit further if possible, because he also catches a bubble, which I think caught 3. But again, catching the tidal wave, yeah, the bubble caught 3. Because the wave already hit it. It was a decent Glacial Fissure. I think Flandre, like, the damage from Shanks and Hope, they almost couldn't put enough damage up early on, or enough poke out early on, because the Blanc can do some very serious poke damage around these objectives. So I do think that AL, we've seen them take some of these slow formations and trying to get poke off before they start the objectives. I think that's going to be really key for them with the next one, because they tried to force a fight into Weibo there, and it was pretty clear that on even footing, Weibo can fight. So what happens when, you know, you're posturing over these objectives for a minute and the Blanc gets in some pretty good poke and you have more sustain given Kael being on your team? That could be a better scenario here. So I'm expecting AL to really try and slow down the pace or connect with more poke even more moving forward.
I think they just need to find a way to get Hope in a comfortable position to free hit. It's been the main difference in these last fights. The power that Ezreal brings, his safety, especially with this much ability haste down. He can really dip around and use the power of the bodyguard Crisp to do what he wants, but just on toe, Chris gets caught by a stray bubble, and that is a whoopsie that we've seen rear its ugly head towards the end of this series for the Weibo support once again.
I mean, just couldn't get the shield up in time. You didn't react flash either, so the bubble connects, and that bubble, deadly as Kael. It's a big win for his team. They've started the Otacon. There still was a sneaky ward drop by Weibo on the bot side. They will see AL pull this objective up towards the top side, as now they get vision of everyone.
Destiny down. We've seen steals from Tarzan. Does Tian have one in him? Xiaohu's going to TP into the Drake pit. Sets up the public execution. Trying to put Breathe on the pedestal to do a ton of damage. He's going to get Shanks and get out. Breathe is safe, but Xiaohu should be able to cost his life. It's Light over the wall, though, trying to find the trade. Steps around a good bubble. What a kick from Tian to get Hope out of the fight as well. Light once again untouched. It's the Void Rush forwards for Flandre, but he's a tanky Rek'Sai. Does he have enough damage to really deal with this Ezreal? Because Light is gliding around him. The knockup lands from the Unburrow, and he does get the job done. And now Hope can start seeing the damage. It's Tian that has to flash over the wall to get out, as Chris joins the fight way too late, and we even out at 3 apiece.
A couple of crazy moments from our ADs as Light dives into the pit to play cleanup, and then Hope with the relentless pursuit out of the Sonic Wave at Tian to save his life in the back half, as it's blood for blood and the Otacon still stands.
That Otacon has been up forever. We are at 23.5 minutes. Now does the bigger bride to be become the Baron? I don't know, but let's go back through that
I will say,
narrow margin fight.
Yeah, big part about this in the back half, Light is going to be still level 12, whereas at the end of this fight, Hope is 14. So got to look out for that moving forward. But Xiaohu ports on a ward. He didn't see that one, as the port doesn't give you the ward vision. Breathe helps clean up Shanks. Xiaohu is dead here. This is where Light gets in. Almost gets Hope with the help of Tian. That kick gets him out of the pit. Light went for the Q flash, but didn't angle it correctly, as Hope was able to dash over the wall too. And then Hope has another big dash in the back half of this fight to dodge out on the Sonic Wave, as Flandre put a really nice C in there. Just get himself in the middle of the pit. Good knock up. Hope with that dash to make sure that he stayed safe. It's a good play coming out of Hope there. Kind of outplayed Light. He tried to dive in to clean him up there with Tian. And really necessary for AL that Hope stepped up like that. Because if he goes down, that could have been Otacon and a lot of control over to Weibo.
But still, nobody has a foothold on this game.
I gotta say, though,
as it can come.
RFC for Xiaohu's big. Because you can actually fish now with the gold cards. As the culling used to back them off. And Flandre would have eaten a gold card, but it wasn't available. Xiaohu has the ult. Otacon's being used.
Otacon's being used. Destiny's going to show it.
Yeah.
They are going to back off, or maybe not. Tarzan still wants to pour damage into this. Xiaohu barely treachered anyway with that Destiny. He's just trying to set up the flank here. Now AL has no way out. They have to commit towards this Otacon that could decide the series. Shanks trying to weave his way in, look for poke angles, but he doesn't find it just yet. Xiaohu hanging on to that yellow card, daring anybody to get stunned up. Otacon about 3K. Flandre can get the first knockup. Tarzan goes into the backline. They're going all after Tian. Glacial Fisher gets a bunch of huge knockups, but Hope gets the first kill. Light gets out. True Shot Barrage back forward. Tries to dash forward after Hope. Another yellow card lands, but in comes Flandre. Kick lays it down, but it's Hope that's able to fire down the light beams onto AL, and Light has no way back in. Tian with a free fall, falls to Hope, who finds the triple kill. Finally, our marksmen leave a stamp on this series, and it's Hope to the rescue for anyone's legend.
Shanks and Hope, they have mobility into the gold cards and the stability of the TF. The way they weave throughout that fight around the gold cards was brilliant, as that was the difference maker for AL in that fight. Hope burned the Relentless Pursuit and the Flash to get out of that one, and then they waited out the second gold card in the back half of that fight to end it, and it was crazy that they all started the fight on the Breathe. I mean, they one-shot in Ambessa Slayer. That's a ballistic call from AL, but they were able to do it with the LeBlanc and the damage they have in their kit.
That one fight means so much as we've been. Yeah, take us back through it.
So they open up onto Breathe, and this is from Flandre. Flandre is going to build like this wall where he can kind of bounce back and forth and actually control the fight with the terrain. Watch this. He bounces, uses the second E then to go lock down Breathe. They one-shot Ambessa in this. Now watch how Hope plays this in the back half. He gets out of public execution, gets out of that from Light, dashes to put pressure, gets him to dash away, then flashes away from the gold card. That's enough space to make sure that he lives. That's where AL springs the trap. Hope bought enough space to get out of the fight. In the choke, Weibo got caught. AL eliminate them in there with the help of Shanks, the AoE damage from the LeBlanc. That was a beautiful fight set up by Flandre and AL. Really well played by Hope in that one to maneuver himself throughout the fight. He has been on point in this Game 5 on the Lucian.
We ask so much of these marksmen. They've been so quiet in this series. Stage been shared by Xiaohu, Tian for Weibo. We had big performances by Shanks. On two rosters where we rarely talk about their AD carries, it's Hope that answers the call that many have been asking for all split long. Now 3 items deep on this Lucian, but the job not done. They have the level advantage. They have the threat of an Ocean Soul, but a Baron fight is imminent. And you can see both of our teams setting up back towards the top side of the river now.
And look, guys, I know that it might be 3-0-11 versus 3-1-2, but the goal is even. The Ezreal is still matching the items of the Lucian, so we do have still a very close game on our screens here.
Oh my God, Shanks!
It's level 16. That's big for the poke.
Ezreal.
Yeah, that is big for the poke. I think that's the play pattern, though, we're going to see from AL now. Let Shanks get control. Let him use the LeBlanc, get these chunks, get the vision, because Weibo can't sustain this. It would be an Ocean Soul for Weibo that they would need to sustain this, which could be quite big for them, too, if they pick that one up later on. I think the Dragon Soul definitely has value this game.
Very little vision around the Baron. TP from Flandre. AL don't want to let Weibo take this Baron down, but they've actually set up a Death Brush.
They're standing still.
Flandre's Rek'Sai passive.
That's big.
Should usually cut this down, but Kael gets picked first. The Nami goes down. Fight breaks out. GA's going to come across here for Tian on the front side of the fight as he flies in with the Ambessa and Breathe finds a huge shutdown to Flandre. Weibo are looking for the turn. They've got hopes, and the kick comes through for Tian. Just like that, Weibo obliterate the game state from AL as they look to crown themselves the series champion. Baron should be theirs, or just the game. It's It's 34 minutes. They're barreling down the mid lane.
That's a queen ace. Kael's gonna be up, but that's it. Is Weibo. They stand still, so the Rek'Sai passive can't connect. Hope wasted his cleanse, so the Winter's Bite passive and gold card could connect, and that might be it, Slayer.
Weibo have been scrutinized all year long for their low performances. We've asked, can they do it again? Can Xiaohu bring this team to the regional qualifiers? Well, they just started it by upsetting your Split 2 champions.
The bracket has been busted already. It's only 3 series in for the LPL, but AL, they're in the lower bracket. The only team that made finals in both Split 1 and 2 are Split 2 champions now have 1 life left in LPL Split 3. As Weibo, it's summertime. It's time to make it to Worlds, and Weibo's here to play.
Whew. Just like they always seem to do, you cannot doubt a team with this much pedigree, no matter how lackluster the form has looked. And the Weibo fans could not be more ecstatic. The luck of the green brings it home for Weibo, and we've got another chaotic Split 3, another chaotic playoffs of the LPL ahead of us, Cubby. Wow.
Wow. I mean, that last fight, we'll get a replay of it when we get the highlights, but I just want you guys to watch Hope. He was so on point for that game until that last fight. It was a botch. He didn't have the Nami to help peel and empower him. And just one bad cleanse,